I don't know what to do. When Bishop Zubik was here, he would always challenge me to speak from the floor rather than from behind the pulpit, which is now called the ambo, by the way, in case you ever played trivia. It's now referred to as the ambo. But he would always say, get away from the ambo and just talk. Speak from the heart, not from the head. People want a message from your heart. They don't come to church to learn something. You're not teaching a class. Speak. But what happens is, when I speak from the heart and stand here on the floor and talk, I go on forever. And my New Year's resolution this morning was to preach shorter homilies. So I don't think I can do that from standing on the floor. So I don't know what to do. From the heart, 20 minutes. From the head, 5 minutes. All that conflict. In the gospel this morning, all the conflict has been removed. We had in the readings leading up to this morning and leading up to Christmas, Mary being so conflicted. Should I say yes or no to the angel? What am I going to do? What am I going to tell people? Nobody's going to believe me. How should I handle this? And we had Joseph all conflicted. Should I marry my fiancée? Should I take her into my home? What am I going to do? How are we going to tell our parents? And on and on and on and on. Should we go to Bethlehem to be registered, even though she's 9 months pregnant? Should we wait until after she has the baby, but then we'll get in trouble for filing the census report too late? What should we do? All that conflict. And now, in the gospel this morning, a week later, it's all over. And the shepherds finally left with their smelly, dirty sheep, and Mary and Joseph and Jesus are by themselves. It's time for the big circumcision celebration, and it's time for the family to go back home to Nazareth. And of course, in a year or two, there would be more conflict, and they'd be hightailing it to Egypt and hanging out there for a while. But for today, there is no conflict in the gospel. And I really think that the key is in the line, Mary reflecting on all that has happened in her heart. If I were to be more reflective before I speak, before I make a decision, before I place an order at a drive-thru, I would put my foot in my mouth a lot less. I would make better choices, and I would lose weight. If I only could be more reflective. It's day one of a new year, and of all the things that are new, probably the foremost on our minds is that we have a new president. Some are ecstatic, some have never been more scared. But with a little reflection, I think we can all move ahead together, and God's grace will be with us. It's God's grace that's the steady stream in the midst of change. And none of us likes change, particularly on the lake shore, it seems. But none of us likes change. But God's grace is that steady stream in the midst of it all. And so when I become more reflective, I become more aware of that grace, and therefore speak and act accordingly. There are all kinds of New Year's resolutions floating around in your hearts and mine this morning, but maybe only one is needed: to spend a few more moments each day in reflection. Because I really believe if I can do that, everything else will fall in line.